NBA season last night in a 114-89 blowout. The four-game losing streak matches the longest the Lakers have had in the past two seasons, and LA's next three games are against Portland, Golden State, and Phoenix. After the game, LeBron said, quote, "It's a tough stretch for us. You know this won't define who we will be for the rest of the season and for the long haul. That's for sure." Fox Sports NBA analyst Ric Bucher joins us now. Rick, big deal or no deal that LeBron's squad got blown out?
You know, the difficulty of having me on later in the show is that the damage that you guys do, there's not enough time left in the show to fix it all. No, it's not a big deal. Was it a big deal last year when at the end of January they were on the road in Boston and they got blown out? Or that they lost 4 of their last 5 games in the regular season bubble? 3 of those games, which were blowouts. Now, did people make a big deal out of them? I'm sure that they did. But can we learn from history? You guys are falling into the same LeBron trap that he always sets, which I can't explain it, but when he doesn't care, he really doesn't care. He'll get his numbers. He can always get his numbers. But the idea that these Lakers, which is now a small ball team, can play small ball without their small ball center, Anthony Davis, and their point guard, second best playmaker, and somehow they are going to beat the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City in February, when the Utah Jazz, this is what they're playing for. They want to have the best record in the Western Conference, if not the entire league. They have something to prove. The Lakers have nothing to prove, and certainly don't have anything to prove when 2 of their 5 starters are out. I told you the last time we talked about this, going into the game, that the Jazz were going to win, and that it didn't mean anything. Now, 24 hours later, I'm supposed to come back and go, oh, wait a minute, they got blown out. This is not a good thing. It doesn't mean anything, because we've seen this time and time again. Lakers and LeBron taking losses like this, and in the end, what did it mean? Not a damn thing.
The great deflector has gone. You want to go next, great qualifier? Do you want to put your qualifiers on it?
Look, I'll go because I'm going to be brief. And obviously, you know, I agree with Rick. I told you this guy. Look, it's February 25th. All right, there's 3 months left in the regular season. And we've covered this league long enough to know this is not a big deal. Do the Lakers have some things they can work out? Yeah, sure. But they're without their second and third best players. Their second and third best scorers. Their first and second best defenders. All right? And one of the toughest things to do when you come back after winning the championship is that next year's regular season. Because you know it's all about May and June. This doesn't matter. It's all about the playoffs for us. So it's tough to get up for those games. And I told you guys, all of their role players, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol, they have been raised up a level now. All right? They're fine in their little role when they're behind LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Dennis Schroeder. But with Schroeder and Davis gone, now they go up a level. The expectations rise. What they have to do changes. And they're not cut out for it. And so they're not going to beat the hottest team in the league on the road when the All-Star break is a week away or 2 weeks away or whatever it is. So, no, it's not a big deal. The Lakers will be fine. I'm not saying they're going to just gallivant through the Western Conference playoffs, because the West is tough this year, and it's going to be a battle for them. But to sit here in February and panic when you've seen playoff LeBron activated time and time and time and time and time again, no, I can't panic over this. Now, LeVar, I got to hear it from you, because you said this was a must-win.
You know what? I see what you're trying to do here, and that's fine. Let me just start off by saying, when I said it was a must-win, I do not backpedal. I do not take it back. I do not say I misstepped. It was a must-win. The team is struggling, all right?
So what now?
This team is wounded, it's vulnerable, and they're struggling. You're on a losing streak, get a win. If it's just as easy to sit there and say, oh, it's easy to lose, oh, they're not motivated, oh, they don't care, then win the game. Win the game. How about get up early enough and rest LeBron and cruise the rest of the way? Like, I get that we say, historically speaking, oh, they could get blown out. Oh, they got blown out last year. Oh, let me come on the show and clean this up because you guys have made a mess of this. You know what? Don't give in to the LeBron trap. Don't fall into the LeBron trap. Okay, I get all of that, and it makes a ton of sense. The reason why this was a must-win to me is because this team needs to understand that they can snap losing streaks, that they can play ball, they can play competitive basketball as a team as they move towards the end of this season. You don't want to get into a point of where you find yourself in a losing rut that you can't get out of. They very easily, depending on how long AD is out, they very easily could find themselves in a very, very bad situation of losing. And how much that losing may be, how much of a slide that may be, I don't know. But it could be bad. J-Mac opened it up earlier and said it's a hard schedule that they have, that they've drawn. Yeah. J-Mac, please go ahead, bring it home.
Rick, on the grand scale, when you zoom out, Rick, yes, you are correct. This game doesn't matter that much. However, when Ted Cruz thinks the Lakers are having a bad week, it's going awful right now. Listen, I'm not going overboard, Rick, okay? If Dennis Schroeder don't play in the next game and they lose that one,
good,
then you're looking at, oh, man, geez, we got Golden State, Phoenix. Oh, we're getting passed by Phoenix in the West. Oh, and now we're tumbled to fourth. Okay, and the second half season, the schedule, 8 back-to-backs. Rick, LeBron's 36. AD coming off the calf injury. They're not playing him a ton. You just start to wonder how far the Lakers can actually fall. Do they fall to 6? Do they have to go through a difficult team and then the Clippers and then the Jazz? I mean, you don't want to just totally toss the regular season out, which is kind of what it sounds like you're doing. Like, there has to be some breaking point where the Lakers can't say, hey, man, we could just punt for the next 3 months.
They can't just slide, guys.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, first of all, are they going to slide for the next 3 months? No. You two guys are the guys who go to the refrigerator and they see the milk and they check the expiration date and there's 3 days left. You're like, oh my God, what are we? Somebody go to the store and get some new milk.
I'll go at least a week.
Any second.
I'll go at least a week after that milk is expired. I'll go at least a week. I'll drink that milk a week after.
Well, you know
gotta know where I came from.
You're not sounding like it right now. You're not sounding that brave. You're not sounding like you believe in homogenization when it comes to come to milk. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Listen, this is all I'm gonna offer. I'm gonna offer this to you guys. It was a must-win because I felt as though it would be great for your morale to be able to get that must-win. So we can look at the different levels of it and debate the levels of what must-win is and what it represents. I get that. But in all seriousness, when you look at what took place in that game last night, you're looking at a team that doesn't want to play in the paint. They do not want to be in the paint. Gasol doesn't want to be in the paint. They don't want to be in the paint. And you know, you only have one guy that's fighting in the paint, and we're looking at him and we're saying he's not playing like he was playing when he was in with the Clippers. Well, it's because he's there alone. When I look at the way they lost, no defense at all. Like that, you know, Utah did what they wanted to do. All right. They made plays, they made baskets, they created plays, they created baskets, and the Lakers were trying. And I made this point earlier. LeBron was trying to do what LeBron does: slash, get to the hole, make plays, create space, facilitate, do what you need to do. There's something to be said about finding a rhythm, even if in losing, even if in managing minutes. They were just abysmal, and there was no way of looking at saying that, you know what, I can understand that it's early, we got a lot of season left, and they'll get it together come playoff time. But if you look that bad, you have to have the conversation of why it's a must-win in my book, because you not only want to try to win those type of games, But if you're going to lose them, at least lose them looking somewhat
They were down
competitive
20
in the game.
the entire second half, Rick.
LeVar and J-Mac, I would lend a little credence, a tad, a smidgen to what you're saying if Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder played. They didn't. I mean, you can't just take away one of the top 10 players in the league and then a guy that's a nice little playmaker and defender and expect that they're going to be at the top of their game against the best team in the league record-wise.
Just don't be that far.
That's what you seem to be forgetting.
No, just don't be that far
that
down
AD
off
wasn't
your game.
there.
Just don't be that far away on your game.
Rick, final word, Rick, quickly.
Look, if they hadn't won a championship, if I didn't know what they could play, and if they weren't a small ball team when fully formed, which we've seen is that the Jazz are vulnerable to because the Clippers beat them in a small ball game just a week or so ago, then I would say all this has credence. Look, it's not a good look. I've just seen so many times with LeBron and the Lakers where they will completely give a game away. And you can look at it and say, well, they shouldn't do that or they shouldn't be that bad. But the end result is it doesn't matter in the big picture. I've seen it happen with them. And so for me to take this as some indicator of what they're going to be 3 months from now, I simply can't. History tells me not to. You are falling into the same trap that I've been in that trap. I'm telling you, don't step there.
Okay.
Don't step there. It's going to take your leg off.
We're going to replay this.
Help me help you.
All right. Is Zion still on track to take the throne from LeBron? We'll discuss that next.